So this is a home in the Pinebrook neighborhood of Park City that sustained water damage last year from the power failing, and which caused furnaces to go off. And it was off long enough that the house froze. The water was still on, but the pipes in the walls froze. Then power came back on and thawed the pipes back out, and they were all split all over the house. So it rained water in here for a couple of days before it was noticed, because the homeowners don't live here. This is a vacation home for them. So when we got here, this room, the disaster people had been here, and the carpets were all taken out of this room, and holes in the sheetrock, and water running from everywhere. They shut the water off. But it destroyed these kitchen cabinets here, this little bar area, but all the sheetrock in the ceiling and where these heat ducts are, water had filled them and brought the sheetrock down. So this is a all new kitchen sheetrock in about half of this room, and we updated the lighting and smoke alarm system, and then put in this new wet bar for them with granite countertops instead of the existing tile that was here. This is the basement bathroom. In here, the ceiling had to come out to get to the pipes that were broken. To put new pipes in, we put new water supply lines in the entire house, had to cut holes in sheetrock all over the house to get all new freshwater plumbing in. This had a hardwood floor in the bathroom, which is a little less sanitary than, or no, I believe it was carpet, which is less sanitary than tiles. And here's the cause of the problem, or the start of it. The furnaces went off because of power going off, and when it come back on, the old regulator here had split and broken, and then shot water all over these furnaces once it thawed. And so then the furnaces, all but this one here, went out again, but they were all wet. So we've replaced the 3 furnaces. And as you can see in the ceiling here, that was all copper. Everything that's blue and red is now modern PEX piping. In this room, half the ceiling sheetrock and both of these walls, and half of this wall behind us where the door swings. This was probably the wettest room in the house. This one and the one next to us, because most of the plumbing that feeds the other 2 levels of the house are straight above us up from this direction, so there was a lot of water in here. It warped the windows, the 2 wood windows in this room, 3 wood windows in this room and the next room. So we put in new wood windows and all this new wood trim in here. And in this bunk room, basically the same thing. The ceiling was all, pretty much all the sheetrock come off the ceiling in this room with water damage. So we took that all down, dried it, repiped it, all new insulation in this exterior wall that was all wet. Water had flowed out this wall here, ruined the threshold on this exterior door, so we put in a new door and sheetrock from about this level down where the insulation and sheetrock was soaked through. New carpet and all new wood trim, with the exception of these beams. We had them refinished because they're part of the structure. Now we're back out into the other door that goes into the garage, the one from the bunk room and this one to this common area. Water had flowed through here. It didn't damage the stone floor, but it again ruined the door and sheetrock from about the 2-foot level down. So that was all fixed and repaired and painted, and then all new wood trim. As we did the repairs in the house, we updated the electrical to current with more modern switches and LED lighting. And then starting here, these steps weren't damaged by water, but we had them sanded and refinished so they could get a little darker color that they wanted. When we replaced the hardwood floor here, in the kitchen and main living area of the.
Here. All right.
Okay, so on this level, the floor had been just super soaked, and it even damaged some of the subflooring under this wood, so the oak all got tore up and replaced, and a few pieces of the subflooring where it was really damaged by water. The water had trailed down from the ceiling here as well, because plumbing keeps going up to the next level bathrooms. So a lot of the ceiling in this area above the wood floors was down in the wall sheetrock. The old cabinets were a more dated, older cabinetry, and they wanted to update to a modern look, so we did the painted cabinets and light colored granite tops, subway tiles for backsplashes. And there again.
Okay, go ahead.
In here, there was water damage to the ceiling, so we took it down and took down the entire ceiling in here there again for piping purposes. Quite a bit of sheetrock work was done in here, and then painting and trim, carpet, and then the new cabinets to match the rest of the house.
All right.
This is the master bath on the main level. In here, it was the toilet had got frozen and cracked the toilet even, so we replaced the toilet, new vanities, and updated the lighting. This room, there's a lot of plumbing in the floor here between what's up and down, and because of heating ducts, it was easier to take the floor up here than the ceiling in the basement to get the piping in. So this floor was all up and holes cut in it, and then had to be patched back in.
All right.
The master bedroom here was one of the few rooms on this level and in the house that was not affected by water. It just didn't make it this far over, so everything in here is just homeowner upgrades with paint and tile and lighting. Upstairs was one of the few areas also that didn't get damaged by any water. It's just too far away from plumbing to have been damaged by water, but the homeowners opted to recarpet the entire home and repaint. And there was a reflective crack going up this wall right here and over in that direction all the way through the sheetrock, so we patched over that with mesh to keep it from cracking again and refinished the wall.
Alrighty.
And every bedroom in the house is a master. They all have a bathroom, so it's nice that way. This one just ended up getting the new cabinetry and a little bit of paint work.
All right.
This room didn't sustain water damage much at all, other than just here on the floor right in this entryway. So there again, new carpets, a little bit of sheetrock touch up where there was just wear and tear from being years old, and then repainted and cleaned and oiled the wood. This bathroom was all the wood cabinetry and everything was swollen from being wet for days. So we've got all new cabinetry, countertops, updated electrical and mirrors. And of course the paint and repair of sheetrock. We had holes in the walls in several places here for piping. The main living area down there, we had that cabinet temperature, so we had that custom built in. The other thing to note is we made the house a smart house so people can control their furnaces and garage doors and lighting, some of it from an app on their phone, so they can keep track of the house a little better since they live on the other side of the country.
I was gonna say that's probably pretty important for people that are
Yeah.
not living in the state to be able to control all their
Yeah, and
home
we
functions without being here.
put in water sensors and that in places that if there ever is a problem again, they'll be notified very quickly, and shut off valves that are electric so they can turn them off from an app on their phone.
That's one of the smart thermostats, so they can control the home from where they live outside of the state.